Burgers, cheeseburgers, patties, Krabby Patties, Nasty Patties, hamburguesas, however you call them, they come in a range of flavours, meats, buns, toppings, and, most importantly, quality. Similar can be said for the Arkham characters. You've got a whole range of tasty, greasy, fine cuisine, to just straight up nasty. Today, we have a fine assortment I've made of Arkham's notable characters, and how well I think they can make a burger. This ranges from 99.1% chemically pure distilled burger making. Imagine, the buns are brioche, lightly toasted, the bacon is crispy, cheese is bubbling and sizzling with flavour. This tier will hold only the best cooks known to humankind. Then there is Goods Gran. So these are for the positively decent chefs of the asylum's underworld. If they're cooking, it's going to be a good, decent meal, probably somewhat nutritious and fairly tasty. Perhaps the fries are even seasoned on the side. Then you have the Burger King hamburger tier. So this is the mid tier. Imagine it as it's a 50-50 chance of if the food is serviceable. You won't die from eating this, but you're also not really going to get a tasty meal. It'd be quite cheap if the burgers were to be sold. It's remarkable how the chefs in this category can produce so little flavour. It's like the food is almost entirely texture. Then we're getting onto the real bad categories. We're entering the bad territory here with sloppy serving. So these are for the consistently negative meals. The burgers are simultaneously burnt and raw, and the burger, it convulses and sticks to your intestines. It is not a good time. The worst possible tier is the Nasty Patty, named after SpongeBob, of course. This is the worst of the worst. The burgers are unholy and abominable living creatures. Creations beyond man-made. So these bubble and they convulse and they breathe. And you know what? The burgers can probably even insult your own mother. Downright inhumane eating experiences. You would not wish it on your worst enemy. Unless your worst enemy is the Riddler. Then there is the extra tier list. So then there is the extra tier for characters who are probably straight up incapable of even cooking a burger. Whether that is spiritually, physically, they can't even pick up a spatula, morally. So, let's go. Alfred.
Monster Bruce.
Let's not beat around the bush here. Only distinguished fine burgers from this distinguished fine gentleman. There's a nice but not overdone, refreshing and crunchy salad garnish. And I bet he even puts those little wooden sticks, the ones with the olives, on top of a lightly toasted brioche bun. He is easy S tier, probably the best chef on this list. Anarchy.
Hero, but you're really just a symbol of
to me, Anarchy
fallen.
Screams
We're better off with
eating to survive. For protein, not for pleasure. When he's not busy causing anarchy, you can probably find him sat in front of the microwave, waiting for his Rustler's burger to finish cooking. He doesn't pour much love into his cuisine, it's sloppy serving. Mad Hatter. Do not eat hamburger from Mad Hatter. Worst mistake of my life. No, yeah, his food is probably enhanced with some wacky potions. And there's not even fries as a side, only hallucinations. Nasty Patty. Arkham Knight. Okay, so on this one, I am torn. On the one hand, I reckon his hatred for Bruce is so consuming that he doesn't really care much for the food that he is consuming. He eats to survive, not to thrive. But, on the other hand, I get the impression that he takes good care of himself. He probably has a nice cologne smell, and is a bit of a gym bro, and all about that high protein meals. So, I'm putting him in Goods Gran, Lady Shiva.
I take no pleasure in your death.
Burger King hamburger. I really don't feel so strongly about her in any way, or her ability to, chef up a mean burger. Bane, Arkham Asylum. So Bane, specifically from Asylum, he's not making it out of the bottom tier with this one. I don't even think he can cook with such bulbous hands, to be honest. I don't think he even knows what planet he's on. Moving on. Black Mask. So this one is interesting. The most representation of Black Mask we have in the games is in Origins, and spoiler warning, he is the Jonkler. However, I will treat him not the same as Joker, and more as the vibes that Roman Sionis gives. And what are those vibes? Well, good scran. I think this is a wealthy man who respects a good diet and good meals. You could make the argument he's more of a restaurant visitor than a chef though, I suppose. Catwoman. Queen. She probably eats kibble and drinks milk though. I don't think she makes burgers. I can't even envision her flipping a patty. She's too cool for me. I mean, burgers. Clayface. If this thing could even make a burger, would you even want to taste it? But I doubt he can, to be honest. Although, maybe he can make a clay burger? In which case, if that tastes like Play-Doh, that's kind of good. Anyway, he can't make one. Move on. Deadshot.
I never fail to kill my
Deadshot looks
You better run,
different
Batman.
here.
You're next.
Anyways, Deadshot from City gives off similar vibes to Anarchy, in that he's a rustler's enjoyer, and he doesn't really concern himself with cooking. Sloppy serving. Deathstroke.
It's been a long rivalry.
So he's a master martial artist,
this
assassin,
is the only way
detective,
to end.
chef, whatever. I feel it makes total sense for him to be a crazy talented chef. 99.1% pure burger. Titan Joker. So this entry is specific to Titan Joker, and Titan Joker probably could make a burger, but it would probably have Titan in, which I don't recommend digesting, whether it's probably still safer for you and has less side effects than the average Burger King burger. Nasty Patty. Electrocutioner. There's really not even enough of this man on screen to even say what his skills are like, but from what we can infer, sloppy serving, he's not toasting the buns, let's be real. Firefly.
There'll be nothing
Honestly,
but a charred stump
it'd go hard.
when I
The burger would
finish
be
with you,
flame grilled,
Batman.
if maybe a little charred. Low-key cooking with fire. A hot commodity. I'll stop, but good scran. He's good scran. Gordon. Much like himself, Gordon's burgers are reliable, consistent, loyal, and very tasty. If he were a burger, he'd be your average bacon cheeseburger. No pickles, good scran. He's a decent chef. Harley. For Joker, she could probably cook up a storm. 99.2% pure burgers. I would even dare to guess. But we're not Joker. And for the average person, I think she'd probably split you to the thrapple with her mallet. She's a cannot cook, and I think she'd refuse to cook for you. Batman. The man, the myth, the orphan legend himself. This is a tough one, and it's the debate of whether Batman is too busy and obsessed with work to bother cooking for himself at all. Like, he goes hungry as he's so focused on the task at hand. Or that he can also be a pretty functioning human and can probably make quite good and balanced food for himself. Either way, 9 out of 10 times, he's probably getting Alfred to make it for him. So, cannot cook and doesn't need to.
Escape
Hugo
from
Strange,
Arkham City is
literal
impossible,
lobotomy burger.
Catwoman.
Bro, cannot cook. Sloppy serving. I think this is a hot take, but I really
Everything you have,
don't care
it's
for Hush
mine.
much as a character.
all mine.
There's a good character there in him, but I think he's so tricky to write for, especially when he's just a side character in these games. That being said, I think he could make an okay burger. He's going mid-tier. Killer Croc and Balls ain't too concerned with cooking burgers. His dream meal is probably, you know, Aaron Cash's hand. Yummy. Cannot cook. Man Bat. So whilst Kirk Langstrom, the man of science, could probably devise a pretty pure and distilled eating experience, we're talking about Man Bat. And I think if forced, he could cook a rough burger. Let's be real, it's going to be some raw meat into butt ends of bread loaves. Nasty patty. Quincy Sharp. Nothing about Sharp is remarkable or memorable, much like his food. Mid-tier. Mr. Freeze. If he gave himself the time off of caring about Nora to cook, you know this man could craft some fine cuisine. The only concern is how close he can actually get to the grill with, you know, heat and all. Good scran. Nightwing. I love Dick. Anyways, Nightwing is a relatable and consistently good guy. I bet he does good burgers with a homemade slaw. You know, good scran. I'm referring to the burger, of course. Officer Balls.
Officer Balls.
Oracle. Well, due to a certain event, I think she may struggle with cooking. But with the necessary accommodations needed for her, I honestly reckon she's great. I think her and Dick are on a fairly even level on most things in my mind. Good scran. And you already know that Jim taught her all the tricks. Penguin. Oswald. What a dude. What a bloke. Unfortunately, he is British. Sloppy serving. Professor Pig. So, I want no part in what this man is cooking. The patties are probably some Frankenstein's creation from whatever he left on the operating table. Nasty stuff. Ra's al Ghul or Raz, it's quite inconsistent.
Detective.
I mean, the gentleman has been around for quite some time, quite some centuries. If he can't make a good burger, you know, taking in elements and advice from all the cultures across history, then honestly, that is shame on him. So I've got faith in him. Good scran. Riddler. I don't even want to be on the same hemisphere as this man, let alone close enough to eat his burgers. I'm going to make a go away tier list just for him. Robin. Tim Drake. He gets done a little dirty in these games, and I feel like he is the whiny Damien substitute occasionally. He is like a worse version of Nightwing, so mid-tier. Poison Ivy. So it's a vegan burger, but damn, does it slap. Her burgers are only comparable to that of the great Linda McCartney quarter pounder mozzarella burger. You know, the scran is umami, and it smells amazing, and it's healthy for you. Top tier. Scarecrow from Arkham Knight. The burger spiked. He's also going to monologue to you about fear or something whilst you're trying to eat. I bet he puts on like way too much mayonnaise as well. He is the epitome of a nasty patty. Scarecrow. Asylum. Scarecrow from Asylum, pre being absolutely mauled by crocker nuts. The patties are still spiked, but they're probably not as potent, but he is more whiny. It's sloppy. Bane from Origins. Big fella. Honestly, I'm scared to even disrespect his cooking skills, so I'm gonna play it safe and go mid-tier. Talia. I honestly don't see her making burgers. It feels like not a part of her diet. I don't know. Maybe if Bruce asked her she would, but let's be real. She is refusing to cook one for anyone else, and I'm not going to argue with her. Also, she may struggle to make them post Arkham City. Jonkler. So Jonkler's buns are round and soft. The burger ones, of course. And the beef is dripping, oozing, you could say, with juices. Bloody juices. Joker's blood juices. Well done. You ate his burger, and now you're going to start seeing the Jonkler everywhere you go. He put his infected blood in it. You know, to me, A small insight into my dark and twisted mind, but to me, a Joker burger is just a regular burger. Nasty Patty. Ricky Loose Lips. I honestly don't remember adding him to the tier list. I don't know why I added Ricky Loose Lips on here, but then I forgot Azrael. It's not good anyway. It's sloppy. Two-Face. Two-Face is the definition of a 50-50 chance you're getting. You're either going to have a good, warm cooked meal, solid, enjoyable scran, or he's going to shoot you. It depends on if, Harvey or Two-Face is showing up to work that day, who's on shift. Either way, even at its best, the food wouldn't be revolutionary. He'd probably do something weird like half the patty's ketchup and the other half is mayonnaise, or half the burger's charred and the other half is raw. He's going to go mid-tier because of these fluctuations. Zaz.
You took too long.
Do I think this man has the capability to cook? Yes, in the sense that he's got limbs and arms, and he can probably produce some form of protein that is largely edible, but I don't want to be anywhere near him. But even then, I would still rather take my chances in a room with Victor Zaz than listen to Edward Nigma, so it's Nasty Patty. Ooh, and that is it. So, let me know where you agree or disagree, although this tier list is 100% factually accurate, and 10 out of 10 dentists agree, so, you're wrong. But if you actually watched this, I am insanely appreciative. This is such a stupid idea, and I'm sorry I'm not that funny. But if you liked it, I'll do some more. I'll see you in the asylum. Peace.